Space and luxury go hand in hand. Indeed, the first 3 letters of space spell spa. Some would say that's a linguistic coincidence, but Herman Jebb believes it's corporate kismet.
This isn't the first time that either one of you have worked with Armando Iannucci. What sort of drew you back, and like, was there a process around the creation of your character?
Yeah, I've worked with Armando longer than anybody in the world. But you know, it is, yeah, quite a long time. I've been working with him, I think, for about 30 years. And I'm always drawn back to working with him because I just love his company. I love the way his brain works. I love the people that he surrounds himself with and the projects themselves.
I was attracted to it because when Armando called me, he said, "I have a lot of clout. I'll crush you like a bug if you don't do this. You're a worm. You're a freaking worm. I'll crush you like a bug." And I was like, well, he does have a lot of power.
Yeah.
I think like he gave me my first job, which is in the Loop. One thing that's really nice about Arm is that he has incredibly defined taste and a very collaborative process. So he knows exactly what he likes and he controls all the dials, you know, very carefully. So you feel like you're in good hands, but also he's so receptive to people experimenting and offering up their ideas in the rehearsal process, and it's such a non-hierarchical generation of characters.
There's always a lot of collaboration with Armando when you're developing characters. So I remember being taken out for lunch by him and some of the writers, and we just talked about Karen and a little, at that stage she was fairly lightly formed, but a little bit around her sense of sort of entitlement, and that she had this kind of internal confidence that she was a woman who could cope in any situation. And so that's kind of where we started with it. I don't think we mentioned at that stage the visuals and, you know, the wig and the clothes and all of that stuff. I think that came later. But initially it was just they wanted somebody who would thrive in that situation and who would become a spokesperson. And it seemed to me that, yeah, that demanded a certain amount of kind of self-confidence. So it's always very collaborative, isn't it?
It seems like she really feels like if she wasn't there, everything would fall apart.
She believes that in every scenario. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when Andy Buckley, who plays Frank, and I were talking behind the scenes, we would often kind of imagine what our home life is like. And I have this image of Karen always multitasking. She's always making somebody's packed lunch and filling out a form for a school trip, and you know, and kind of vacuuming a carpet, and she's doing a million things all at once and without breaking a sweat. And Frank, I think, is just kind of walking around going, where did I leave my, you know, she's just doing it, reaching. She's an octopus woman.
Hey, you're not getting in some escape pod, are you?
Ma'am, if I had an escape pod, I would put you in it. Set the fucking thing on fire.
Matt, your character, I'm not even sure how he really got this job that he has.
Right.
Because it seems like he's supposed to be in charge of so many people's experience, and he has outward contempt for all of them.
I think he actually legitimately likes people. I just think his worldview, I basically think of him as a friendly nihilist who really doesn't believe in anything except to try to be nice to people. But when he tries to be nice to people, his nihilism causes them further despair, so it's sort of pointless. It's like somebody trying to give medicine, but the only medicine they have is a poison, you know?
What the hell's going on?
Should we be scared?
This is a safe space, emotionally. Physically, we're obviously in terrible danger.
If you guys were on Avenue 5 or like a cruise ship out in the Mediterranean or something that's like on its side, who would you be? Like, do you know how you would have you thought about how you would react in that situation, or who you think you'd turn into?
I think I would be Frank Kelly, Karen's husband. There's a fleeting shot at one point where you see Frank just crumbling onto Karen's shoulder, and that's definitely who I would be. Yeah, I'd be the one just going to pieces. And there's another, I think it's in that same scene where he just very quietly says, "I don't want to die," and I think that sort of sums up who I would be in that scenario.
I just saw, what's it called, A Night to Remember, that old movie from about the Titanic. And in it, at one point, one of the staff of the ship reaches over and grabs what is ostensibly a woman in the lifeboat, but it turns out it's a boy who's wrapped himself in a shawl to look like a woman because they're doing evacuating women and children only. And the captain looks at him with real contempt, like, how could you? And I would be that boy wrapped in the in the shawl trying to, oh, I'm a grandma. Let me on the ship.
I identify as a
Yes.
woman and a child,
Yes,
so I should
exactly.
be here.
Exactly.
I need
I would adjust my identity to preserve my survival.
You're a passenger on the ship. You're in the service industry on the ship. Are there things that irk you in service? Like when you go to a restaurant?
And I am unreasonably polite and I just take rubbish from people to a ridiculous degree. So people will give me terrible food and terrible service, and I'm just like, thank you so much, thank you, can I please let me tip you? So yeah, there's an awful lot that irks me in service, but I never do anything about it. So I kind of think, well, then I brought it on myself, haven't I?
The one that drives me crazy is if you're at a restaurant and they're like, have you dined with us before? And then they want to like sort of give you the spiel about the restaurant, but it's like, it's a restaurant. I get the idea. This piece of
Yeah, that
paper
is
has
true.
foods on it. Back
is
there's a
true.
room where the foods are being made.
There was a little fad a few years ago in, I don't know if it was the same here, but in London restaurants where they got very, very pretentious, and they would not just say, have you dined with us before? They'd say, let me talk you through the concept. And again, you think, I think I know the concept by now. I ask you to do something, you go off and broadly speaking do it, I give you some money. I mean, what is the concept here? It's a restaurant, for goodness sake. Yeah, that is, you're right.
funny.
Anything
Oh,
that,
so
that
it's a
tries to tell you it's something bigger than it is.
Yeah.
just forget
Unless
it.
the concept is you do photosynthesis here, you're not actually going to ingest food.
Yeah.
I think no
We're just gonna
explanation.
spray the food into your nasal cavity.
Space travel may not be suitable for expectant mothers, those 85 or over, or those experiencing any of the following medical conditions: schizophrenia, dog flu, suicidal ideation, gun brain, low blood pressure, high blood pressure, and big fat ankles. Please consult your doctor before flying with Jug Galaxy. On Avenue 5!